Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. This time we are looking at another CSS battle, so we're going to be trying to do 3 different hard problems. Last time we did a few different problems, but we did them without seeing the output, and this time we're going to do some harder problems, but I will be able to see the output because I think these would be way too hard to try to do blind. Okay, so to get started, first of all we have this Pokeball one. So first of all, let's try and break this up into smaller pieces. So up here at the top, we have this top part of the Pokeball, then we have the bottom part of the Pokeball, then it looks like we have some background behind it, and then this little inner circle thing. Okay, and then of course the background on the whole body. So let's start with that. So we can say the body has a background of this color, and then let's make this div be ID equals top, and we can select the top. So this is going to be the red portion at the top of the Pokeball. So let's see, we need a semicircle. So I think we can do that by, let's make the width bigger than the height. And then we want to have a border radius, and we want just top border radius. So I think we want this to be 200 pixels, 200 pixels, 0, 0. Yeah, so we want the same border radius as the width, and then no bottom border radius. Okay, so that looks pretty close actually. That might be the right size. So let's copy this pink color and put that there. And now we can, let's see, center this. So we can say position absolute left 50%, and then transform translate x negative 50%. Okay, so that's going to center it horizontally, and then vertically it's not centered. The whole Pokeball is, so maybe top 100 pixels. That looks like it's too far, maybe 50. Okay, cool. That looks like it's pretty much in the right spot. So let's duplicate this and call this one bottom. And then we can just copy this code. We could refactor this into some shared class, but I'm not too worried about minimizing the amount of code. I just want to try and get it right. Okay, so this is going to be the same thing, but instead of the top border radius, we want bottom border radius. So 200 pixels, 200 pixels, like that. The color is white. Is that enough Fs? Yeah, okay. And let's see, so now we need to move it down. So instead of 50 pixels, maybe 100 pixels. Oh, and we need to change this to be bottom as well. Okay, so 100's not enough, 200. Too much, 150 maybe? Okay, cool. So now we have sort of the outline of the Pokeball, but we need this piece behind it. So it looks like that's just like a rectangle behind it, and I think it's this color. So let's say div ID equals, call this rectangle, and we can close out that div. Okay, so let's select our rectangle. So rectangle. And let's see, so we can just give this some width, maybe 100 pixels, a height, and the height's not going to matter too much because it's going to be behind the Pokeball, so we can say 100 pixels here as well. Background is going to be this color. Okay, and looks like we need more width, maybe like 160 or something like that. And then we just want to completely center this, so we can say position absolute. And then we want left 50%, top 50%, and then we want transform, translate, negative 50%, negative 50%. Okay, so that's pretty much where we want it. And now that I think about it, even though this is behind the Pokeball in the image, to sort of get this gap that we're supposed to have, I think we actually want this to be in front. So even though it's going to sort of look behind, it's going to actually be on top. So let's make this less tall. So maybe height like 30 pixels. Does that look sort of close? I think it's a little bit too tall still. So maybe 25 pixels. And we need a little bit more width on this as well. So let's see. Maybe it's a little taller than that, maybe 30 pixels. Okay, so let's see, it's hard to tell exactly. Yeah, so this is off a little bit, but close enough. And then to get this sort of outside part that's blue, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a left and right border to this. So we can say border left is going to be, I don't know, maybe 10 pixels solid and the background color. This way I don't have to worry too much about this area because it is the same color. We can just use that border, and we need this bigger, 20 pixels. And we'll do the same thing for the right. Border right. Border right. Okay. So now it looks like we're pretty close, although this is too tall. So maybe height back down to 20 pixels. Ooh, and that looks actually perfect. Okay, so now we just need to do this circle thing in the middle, which should be pretty straightforward. Make another div and call this one middle. And oops, come down here, middle. Middle is going to have, let's say, a width of maybe 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, border radius of 50%, and a background of this color. Okay, and now we just need to center this, so we can say same thing, position, absolute, left 50%, top 50%, and then transform, translate, negative 50%, negative 50%. All right, so that's in the middle. It looks like it's way too big. Maybe 50 by 50, too small. Let's go 75 by 75. Perfect. And now we just need this inner circle inside of this circle. So actually what I'm going to do is change this color to be the inner circle color instead. And then we can give it a border. So we can say border is maybe like 10 pixels solid and the outer circle color like this. And then we need to make this smaller. I guess we could just use box sizing. So we could say box sizing, border box. Okay, so that looks almost perfect, although not quite. Let's see, so it's just not quite big enough, or... Okay, so maybe this is like 80 pixels by 80 pixels, 80 by 80. Now it's too big. Is it too... Let's see, 7. Okay, that looks perfect, 70 by 70. Awesome, so I think that's it. Let's go ahead and submit. Let's see what we get. So 99.9% match. Well, that's upsetting. What is wrong? Okay, it looks like the outside of my circle is just like slightly off somehow. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and fix that. I'm gonna count that as a win. We're rounding up. Yeah, I'm not honestly exactly sure how to fix that. It looks close enough to me. So let's move on to the next problem. So this one is called Donkey Kong, and we need to make this sort of like step ladder thing from Donkey Kong, whatever you call it, the little platform. So let's see. So we have 3 of these horizontal like platforms that we need to make, and then these white ladders, and one of them is diagonal. Okay, so let's make just one of these first. So we can say class equals platform, and let's select the platform. Let's say the width maybe 300 pixels. Height looks like it's like maybe 25 pixels. The background color is this one. Cool. And then it looks like we have some border radius. So border radius, I don't know, maybe 10 pixels. Yeah, okay, that looks right-ish. And then all of them are centered horizontally, so we can add left 50%, transform, translate x negative 50%, and then we need position absolute. Okay, and now we need 3 of these, so let's copy all 3, and let's just give these classes F for first, S for second, and T for third, because that's good code quality. Okay, so the first one is going to have a top value of, let's say, 100 pixels. Is that, let's see, that's too far down, it looks like. So maybe 70, 5 pixels. And this one looks too high now. Wait, did I look at that wrong last time? Let's see. 100 pixels is too low. Maybe like 90 pixels. Perfect. Okay, that looks like it's in the exact right spot, and it's of course not. Wait, maybe 100 was right. No. 80. 85. Let's see. I don't know when I see this diff thing, which color is mine and which one is theirs. 87, 86, 87, 88. I think it's just not big enough, actually. Maybe this is supposed to have a height of like 30. No, that's way too tall. Okay, back to 25. Okay, well, that's close enough for right now. We will fix the other one. We will fix it in a moment. Let's go to the third one. So we can say .t, and we can just move this one to way lower. So maybe top 100 pixels, 200 pixels, 150 pixels, 175 pixels. Okay, so that looks roughly kind of close to where it's supposed to go. Maybe a little bit lower, like 190. Okay, yeah, so that looks like it's about where it needs to be. And now we need this like one that's crooked. So that's the middle one. So that is .s for a second. I'm already regretting these terrible class names. So first of all, let's just stick this one in the middle. So we can say top is, I don't know, 130 pixels, something like that. And then we need to also rotate this one. So I'm going to copy this and add to this transform. We also want rotate. It's not how you spell rotate. So let's say rotate this like 45 degrees. That is the wrong direction. Negative 45. That is way too far. 25. Negative 10. Negative 5 maybe. Okay, so that looks kind of close. Everything's in the slightly wrong positions, but we're sort of, I think, getting close. Inside the background color, the body, background. Okay. So let's see, we are close. Looks like ours are too tall. So let's go maybe down to 20 pixels. Okay, so we are, I think, making progress with that. Let's see. So it looks like my top one is a little bit too high. So maybe we go like 90. Oh yeah, I think that looks perfect. Okay, so the top one is in the correct spot now. Now let's try to get the bottom one in the correct spot. Actually, it already might be. Yeah, the bottom one's correct. So it's just the middle one that's off. So our middle one is too high up. So 150 maybe? Maybe 140. That looks about right. Oh, it's so close. So I can't tell if this is, it looks like it's just not rotated the right amount. So maybe negative 10 degrees. No. Negative 6, 7, 8, 9, 4. Ooh, negative 4 degrees. That looks perfect. Okay, cool. So now we just need to make these ladders. So maybe we can do div class equals ladder and close out the div. Okay, so let's select ladder. This is going to have a background of white. And let's see, they all have the same width, so maybe like 50 pixels. And then they have different heights. So let's do ladder left. You can say dot left. This one's going to have a height of maybe 100 pixels. And these are too wide, maybe like 30. And let's see, so we need to make all of these be position absolute. So position absolute. This one's going to have a left value of, let's call it 100 pixels. That looks like it's too far over, 75 pixels. Then top, maybe 50 pixels. Okay, and now it's too tall, 50 pixels. We need to move it down more, 100 pixels. And that looks pretty close. I think this is too wide still. Let's see. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. Let's also move these backwards. So we can say the z-index on the ladders is going to be -1. That puts it behind the ladder. But let's see. It looks like mine is too far to the left. So we need maybe 90 pixels. That looks too far. 80. That looks, I think, perfect. Okay, cool. So that one's perfect. Now we just need to do this bottom middle one and the one on the right. So we can copy this, make this one be middle. Copy this, do middle. And then for this one, the left value is going to be 50% because it is perfectly centered. And then we need transform, translate x, -50%. Okay, and now we just need the top value higher, so maybe 200, 150. That actually looks perfect. It is. And now we just need the one on the right. Okay, so right, and I think we can just do one big one for the entire right. Let's copy this, say right. I wonder if this is the same distance from the right as the other one is from the left. It might be maybe 100 pixels. Is that right? Ooh, that is perfect. Good guess. Diff, looks like there's nothing. Submit. Let's see if we can get 100% this time. And we did, 100% match. Okay. So cool, that one wasn't actually too bad. Now let's move on to the last one, which is going to be Tetris. Okay, so for this one, we need to make all of these different boxes. And the way I'm thinking about this is we should treat it as a CSS grid, and the empty spots can just be blue boxes. So let's make the background color, first of all, of the body. So we can say body background will be this color. And then let's make a div with the class equal box, and then it will also have the color. So for example, red. And now let's make a box class. So we can say dot box will have a width, maybe, I don't know how big these are, 50 pixels, height 50 pixels, and then we will have the background colors. So dot red is going to be the background of this red color. Okay. So now we have that. Let's also get rid of the margin on the body, margin 0. And let's set this to be display grid. Okay, and now for the grid, what we want is to say grid template rows. So how many rows do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 rows. Each one is the same size. So I think we can do repeat. Is it? I forget the order of this. I think it's 6 and then 1 FR. I might have that backwards. Hopefully not. And then for the columns, let's see, how many columns do we have? Grid template columns. And it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns as well. Okay, so we can do that. We can also add some left and right margin. So let's do 0, 20 pixels. More than that, maybe 50 pixels, something like that. And now what we need to do is just have a bunch of these divs, but with different colors. And then we need some gap in between these. So maybe gap is going to be like 5 pixels. Okay, so these aren't exactly in the right spots, but it is a good start. So now let's get all of the possible colors. So we can have, say, blue, we can have red, we can have teal, we can have yellow, and we can have purple, and I'll leave these last ones as red. And let's come down here and make all of those different things. So blue is going to be this color, background this, and then teal will be this one. So background that color, yellow, if I can type it, yellow background this color. And the purple one is going to have this color. So we can say dot purple, background, this color. Okay, so now we have the different colors, and let's see, these boxes are, I think, too big. Yeah, it looks like these are too big. So maybe these are supposed to be like 40 pixels by 40 pixels. Let's see. Still looks a little bit off. So let's see. It's hard to tell. Let me make a bunch more of these so that we can get sort of to the lower rows where it's going to be easier to see, like the one on the far left. So I'm just going to, for now, just copy this whole thing a bunch of times and to not worry about the colors, but just the sizes of these. Let's see. If we do diff. Okay, yeah, so it looks like mine are actually too small. So maybe it was 50 by 50. So 50 by 50. And maybe the gap is too big. So maybe this is like 4, 3, 2, 1. And this off. All right, it's definitely not 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like the gap is probably 5 pixels. Let's see. It's so close. Maybe my left margin is off. Let's see. Now, I don't think my margins on the side are off, although it's going too far over on the right, which I don't want. Let's see, why is it doing that? So, are these too big? It's so hard to tell. So maybe let's make this purple one at the top, make this red so that it can actually align. Although actually what I really want is this like third row. Are these too big or are they? It's just, I can't tell why is this going over the edge? So maybe that's implying that either these are too big or the gap is too big. So maybe these are like 45 pixels by 45 pixels. Oh yeah, okay, that looks like almost perfect shape-wise. Just obviously the colors are wrong. So let's try the first row. So the first row is going to be blue, 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 red, and blue. Oh, we're so close on this first row. Okay, so maybe the gap is off. Maybe this should be 4 pixels, 3 pixels, 6 pixels. Okay, 6 pixels of gap. And now we just need to set the different colors. So we got blue, red, blue, and then we have a bunch of blue we want after that. So we want blue. So these should all be blue. And then we want the next one to be red. Oop, not that one. We want that to be red. We want that to be red. And then we want blue. All right. And then the next row is going to be yellow, yellow, blue, red, blue, blue. So we want yellow, yellow, blue, red, blue, blue. And then we have yellow, yellow, red, blue, purple, blue. So I think that starts here. Yellow, yellow, yellow. And then we want red, blue, purple, blue. Okay, and now we need 3 reds. So we can say red, red, red. Now that I'm thinking about this, this was probably not the best way to do this. Now we need teal. Where is teal on here? I'll just do this. Teal. And then we need 2 purples. Purple, purple. And now the bottom, yellow, 3 teals, purple, teal. So yellow, 1, 2, 3 teals, a purple, and then a teal. And messed up the last one. Okay, and I think this might actually be perfect. Yeah, it looks like it. Probably not the cleanest way to code this, I guess, but it is going to work. So yeah, we got a 100% match. Let me know what you thought of this video and check out this video over here if you want to see me do some CSS battles where I can't see the output. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe for future content and I will see you in the next video.